Welcome all of you to this discussion on measurement in education, meaning and concept. शिक्षा में मापन, अर्थ और परिकल्पना. Modern education system aims at holistic development of a child. The first step in this direction is to know about the child's potentialities, his personality traits. Knowing a child's skill, his knowledge potential, his personality trait is only possible through measurement. So today we are going to discuss on the importance of measurement in education along with its meaning and concept. Points included in this presentation are measurement. What do we generally understand by measurement? Measurement in education. शिक्षा में मापन क्या होता है? Definition of measurement, essential elements of measurement, types of measurement, scales of measurement, measuring, tools in education, importance of measurement in education. Coming to the general meaning of measurement, in our day-to-day life, we measure height, weight, volume, distance, etc. Generally, to measure and show weight, height of an object in definite unit is referred as measurement. For instance, using a ruler to measure paper, using a tape to measure cloth, using a scale to weigh something. But measurement also include defining any characteristic of an object, person or activity in words, symbols or यूनिट. किसी वस्तु, व्यक्ति, गतिविधि की योग्यता की मात्रा को गणितीय इकाई में व्यक्त करना मापन कहलाता है. According to Thorndike, anything that exists at all exists in some quantity, and anything that exists in some quantity is capable of being measured. So measurement is always done of a quality, attribute or variable. We can state that measurement is the process of obtaining a numerical description. In other words, a measurement is a process of assigning numbers to objects according to certain rules. मापन का अर्थ निश्चित स्वीकृत नियमों के अनुसार वस्तुओं को अंक प्रदान करना है. Here we can see in the slide. Measurement means determination of attributes, identification of attributes, variable which we are going to measure, then assigning numbers to objects, that means quantifying that object, and then to compare to a standard value. After assigning numbers, after quantifying numbers, that scores are compared on some standard, the standards which are determined by individual and society from time to time. Educational measurement. What do we understand by educational measurement? In the field of education, the scores obtained on a test to assess the achievement of a child is called measurement. Educational measurement is the process of obtaining a numerical description of the degree to which an individual possesses a particular characteristic. शिक्षा के क्षेत्र में जब हम किसी व्यक्ति की योग्यता या विशेषता को गणितीय इकाई में व्यक्त करते हैं तो उसे शैक्षिक मापन कहते हैं. The process of measurement is essential component of learning system. Educational measurement are always concerned about measuring a variable or attribute. The process of measurement converts a variable into quantity or number which is used for drawing inferences. For example, intelligence is quantified in terms of IQ and achievement variable is measured in terms of scores. So we can say that educational measurement is quantitative assessment of students' performance in a given test to infer the knowledge, skills, abilities and proficiencies of a student, like his academic achievements in various subjects, intelligence, interest, attitude, aptitude, etc. Now these are the definitions of measurement. There are numerous definitions of measurement. Few of them are have been illustrated here. Encyclopedia of Educational Research. To measure mean to observe or determine the magnitude of a variant. G.C. Helmstedar defines measurement as a process of obtaining a numerical description of the extent to which a person or thing possesses some characteristics. Bradfield defines measurement as a process of assigning symbols to the dimensions of phenomena in order to characterize the status of phenomena as precisely as possible. Essential elements of measurement. After going through various definitions of measurement and the concept of measurement in general and that of educational measurement in particular, these are the basic essential elements of measurement. Identification of the attribute or variable that is to be measured. First of all, we have to identify and define the quantity or attribute or variable that is to be measured. For example, intelligence, academic achievement, aptitude, interest, that quality or attribute is to be identified and defined. Second point is determining set of operations by which the attribute or variable may be perceived. What are the set of operations by which the attribute or variable may be perceived? It is the test or tool or the instrument. In the field of education, we use intelligence test, achievement test, and tests of all sort. And then third point is set of rules for translating observations into quantitative statements. There must be some standards or set of rules on the basis of which these numbers are translated into quantitative statements. These standards may be norms set up by the individual or society from time to time. So these are the basic essential elements of measurement. Types of measurement. There are two types of measurement: physical measurement and psychological measurement. Physical measurement is a common understanding of the concept of measurement, and psychological measurement is also called educational measurement or mental measurement. So here the points of comparison between the two. The physical measurement is direct. Whatever we have to measure, we can measure it directly. For example, we have to measure the dimensions of a table, its length and breadth. We can measure the length and breadth of the table, and we can say that we have measured it directly using the tool specified for it. But in case of educational measurement, the measurement is relative. We do not measure the thing directly. For example, we have to measure intelligence of a child. We have to make use of the intelligence test, and the scores obtained on that intelligence test may imply that a child is that much intelligent, and even the scores which we obtain on the intelligence test are just raw scores, and they are to be converted into standard scores. Only then we can conclude something about that child. So these are relative. Second point is accurate. Physical measurement is accurate, it is precise. Whatever we are measuring, we can say it is most accurate, the results are accurate. But in case of psychological measurement, the results are subjective. Subjective in the sense there are too many tests to measure same variable or same attribute or same quality can be measured using this too many tests. For example, in case of intelligence, we have so many tests of intelligence, and so we cannot say that there is so that much accuracy and that much objectivity as that is in physical measurement. Third point is absolute measurement possible. In physical measurement, we can measure the thing absolutely or entirely. For example, we want to measure the distance from Lucknow to Delhi. We can measure it accurately in entire form. But in psychological measurement, we just measure a certain aspect of it. We do not measure the entire personality, we just measure a certain aspect of child. We just measure his interests, his aptitude, his attitude, etc. Number 4, physical measurement, they are fixed tools. They are standard tools to measure something. For example, we have to weigh something, we can use a scale. We have to measure distance, we use that particular tool. But in psychological measurement, tools are not fixed. Instruments used here are not fixed. There are different varieties of instrument to measure a single variable or attribute. In physical measurement, units of measurement is same. Units of measurement same. That means, for example, 1 kilogram is equal to 1000 grams. There is no differences in unit of measurement. But in case of psychological or educational measurement, units vary throughout. For example, taking the example of intelligence test, we can measure the intelligence using verbal items, verbal questions, non-verbal items, or on the basis of some manipulative task or some puzzle exercise, etc. We can use different types of things to measure intelligence of a child. So here units of measurement vary considerably. The next is absolute zero, presence of absolute zero, complete absence of a thing. When we are measuring in physical measurement, the zero is absolute zero or true zero. It is complete absence of a thing. But in case of psychological measurement or educational measurement, we cannot say that the thing is completely absent. For example, if a child scores zero on an intelligence test, we cannot say that his intelligence ability is zero. That zero is not absolute. That zero is not true. We cannot conclude on the basis of that zero that it is absolute zero or true zero. So these are the differences or points of comparison between physical and psychological measurement. Next we come to the scales of measurement. There are four scales of measurement: nominal scale, ordinal scale, equal interval scale, and ratio scale. Nominal scale is at the most basic level, in which we can only categorize, name, or label things. For example, categorizing the students of a class into male and female, categorizing the population as rural and urban. Next is ordinal scale, in which we can categorize and even rank them in order. There is a relationship of more or less. For example, SES scale, socio-economic status scale, we can categorize into 3 classes or 5 classes: higher, middle, and lower, and we can even rank them in order. Higher is at the topmost, then middle, then lower. Third scale is equal interval scale, determination of equality of intervals. In case of equal interval scales, the intervals between the attribute or quantity are equal. Example in this case is temperature in centigrade, academic achievement or IQ of a child. The classic example of interval scale is the Celsius temperature, because the difference between each value is the same. The difference between 60° and 50° is measurable as 10 degrees, as is the difference between 80 degrees and 70 degrees. But this interval scale lacks absolute or true zero. There's nothing like no temperature. In interval scale, zero doesn't mean the absence of value. With it, when there's no true zero, it is not possible to compute ratio. Next is ratio scale. Ratio scale is most scientific and most reliable scale. It tells us about the order. It tells us about the exact value between units, exact difference between the unit, and it also has absolute zero, which allows for a wide range of statistics to be applied. Here all sorts of statistical operations are possible, and it is the highest level of scale. It is most scientific and most reliable. On such scale we measure height, weight, distance, etc. Here is a table showing a comparison of the scales, comparison of 4 scales of measurement. Nominal scale, rank order, not possible. Equal interval, not possible. It does absolute zero doesn't exist. In the statistical operations which we can perform at nominal scale is just frequency. No other statistical analysis or operation can be performed at nominal scale. Then is ordinal scale, in which data can be categorized as well as ranked, but the interval between the unit is not equal, and absolute zero doesn't exist in ordinal scale. Statistical operations that are possible at ordinal scale are rank order correlation, median, and percentile. Next scale is equal interval, in which we can rank order, we can put the data into rank. Equal interval between unit is present, but it lacks absolute zero. Here the statistical operations which are possible are mean, SD, product moment correlation. Next is the ratio scale, which is the most scientific and most reliable, in which all sorts of operations are possible, all types of statistical operations are possible. We can rank the data into order, the interval between the units are equal, and it also possesses absolute zero. So what do you think, which scale is most important in the field of education? Can we use ratio scale in the field of education? Not exactly. In the field of education and psychology, the scale mostly used is equal interval scale. Equal interval scale, we measure intelligence, IQ, achievement, academic achievement of students. These are all measured on equal interval scale. Ratio scale is most scientific, and we do not generally use it in the field of education. The quantity, qualities, the attributes, the variables which are uh, in the field of education are measured only through equal interval scale. Measurement tools in education. What are the tools or instruments through which measurement is possible in education? These are tests. Tests can be of wide variety. There are intelligence tests, aptitude tests, and many other sorts of tests. Then we have rating scales. Rating scales are of different types: 5-point rating scale, 9-point rating scale, 3-point rating scale. Inventories, observation. Through observation, we can measure a thing, through interview, through checklist, through anecdotal and cumulative records, and through projective techniques. So these are the basic tools which we use in the field of education, and we have to just remember the names here, and we will be studying about them in later semesters. Functions of measurement. The functions can be categorized into three broad heads: descriptive functions, prognosis function, and diagnosis functions. Descriptive function include classification of students on the basis of some capabilities, some abilities, comparison of the students on some task, selection of students for some particular task or some particular work, monitoring educational achievements, monitoring of educational achievement of students is only possible through measurement. Prognosis function means prognosis means predicting something, predicting and foretelling students' achievement just on the basis of measurement. Through measurement, we can predict or foretell students' achievement. For example, IQ of a child predicts his performance in class, making decisions about students. When we will measure his achievement or his capabilities, his personality traits through various tools, instruments, through various tests, then only we can make decisions about the students. And on the basis of those decisions, we can guide him vocationally and educationally. Next is diagnosis function. Beside describing and beside predicting, measurement also help in diagnosis, in identifying weaknesses of the students, identifying weaknesses in particular class, in particular subject, then on the basis of that promotion of students, and it also helps in formative assessment. So these are the broad categories in which functions of measurement in the field of education can be stated. With this, we come to the end of our presentation. In our next presentation, I will be discussing with you the meaning of measurement and evaluation and the relationship of measurement and evaluation. Thank you.